Whenever I go back to Japan, I see a lot of people swinging like this. They load it to the right a lot, and then immediately they're gonna over-rotate and like this. So,
nice to hear.
I want you to explain clearly for Japanese people that why this is not good from your perspective.
Sure.
Okay.
My hips, movement around my hips.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now we got the backswing, we got the fitness piece. So let's kind of work the circle again. So what would you say then, Michael? So they understand the backswing now.
Yep.
They've gotten some more strength and awareness to stay a little bit more centered.
Yep.
So what would be your big drill then for the downswing piece to help them understand how to maybe unload the fourth accumulator faster and then what I call kill the trail leg?
So one of the things you said that I really enjoyed in the backswing is that the ascent in the backswing happens from the body. The tilting,
the stretching.
Yep. That's what raises or ascends the club.
Okay.
From P6, shaft parallel to the finish, it's the same motion. It's the ascension of the butt end of the club is happening from the body extending and tilting and turning in time and space.
Okay.
Well, where does the descent come from? Well, the descent comes from the extension of the shoulder sockets, as well as the horizontal abduction, adduction of the arms, some retraction, protraction of the trail shoulder. And doing those motions lowers the club, or as the golfing machine would say, taiki or a golfing machine guy, lowering the releasing the fourth and first accumulators.
So again, the fourth accumulator,
correct,
and then the first accumulator,
correct,
for those who don't know.
Trail arm straightening is number one, and the left arm coming down is number two, or off the chest, the abduction of the lead shoulder. So on the downswing, if the pelvis went first, and you started rotating and coming backwards, now that's this lead arm doesn't get moved. The butt end of the club doesn't move by rotating your hips. It actually adducts it further and further behind me. So the first move on the downswing is going to be the adduction of the lead shoulder. So the harder I try to move the arms away from my chest, so the descent will come from the extension of the shoulders, the horizontal abduction, adduction, moving the arms around. If you just hold the shaft. You're
not going to pull. I have to run.
Yeah. If I push as hard as I can, just hold it here. Yep. Now, if I just put pressure against that shaft, the harder I put pressure, the more we're going to see the kinematic sequence of the body pivoting. So this turning motion that actually happens, the lower body translation that actually happens, is not caused by trying to translate or trying to slide the lower body. It comes from the arms trying to lower the club down, releasing the first and fourth accumulator. With heavy mass, it'll dynamically look differently. So the goal is to take it to the top and just lower the arms and make the arms go past the midline of the body, not keep them to the trail side.
Okay, so let's hit one like that then so people can kind of see it.
Sure. So if I were to take it to the top of backswing and leave my hips back, the arms are going to be stuck behind me, the exit's going to be too high, I'm going to push, I'm going to cut, I may snap hook it. But if I keep my trail foot back, extend, tilt, and turn my spine, and lower the arms down as hard as I can, like the old Justin Rose drill, the Hunter Mahan drill, and just move the club around me. First one that went left.
Yep. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let it slide right now, but
look on your face.
Yeah, I did, but then I was like, I'll let it slide.
So by having the arms go around me, I'm going to be able to transfer that energy. No different than a field goal kicker planting the leg and
soccer
kicker.
And even when somebody's trying to learn that, right? So if they hit that first shot, we'd be okay because we'd want to see every ball curving left.
It didn't slice.
Yep. And then from there, as you continue to fine tune the pattern, we'd want to then kind of make sure that the face is a little bit more open to the target, close to the path, ball would stop more right.
Correct.
Even if it over curves a little bit at the beginning there, that would be fine too.
Right.
And then you would start to keep working it and working it and working it till the ball starts right, comes back to target, doesn't over curve. So it's a progression-based stuff of not only the fitness, but also I would just say the gross motor pattern, then you're going to get the fine motor pattern in there where you're going to start to fine tune the ball flight. That is the sequence. And then when you are working on this, it's not as you're starting it, only worrying about the ball flight, is making sure that you got some video so that you can see that you're actually facilitating the change versus only focusing on your feels. Oh, I think I did. No, let's make sure that you're doing it, and then let's use video to calibrate yourself.
And one of those checkpoints I'd like to highlight would be the butt end of the club location when the shaft's parallel to the ground.
P6, yep.
Downswing P6, you could have a short arc, super short arc, a short arc measured by the thigh, the location of the butt end of the club to the thigh.
Yep.
A medium arc just to the right edge of the thigh, or a wide arc and then a super wide arc, which we wouldn't recommend.
And you don't see any of that on tour.
No, you don't. The highest handicappers would release the club here or pin the club back.
And then try.
And then try to reach for the ball with dorsiflexion,
Yeah.
palm or trail rest. But the best players in the world, you're going to see the butt end of the club getting down the lowest. Not
And more in front.
And more in front.
Low and in front.
So the question I've always asked people is what lowers the butt end, what mechanically, anatomically, what brings the golf club, the butt end of the club, down and more forward?
So hands and arms,
Doing what?
doing adduction, flexion, or adduction, extension, and moving across the body.
Yeah.
Horizontal
So-
adduction.
Horizontal adduction, the arms, as well as extension
Yep.
of the shoulders.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what moves the club. And the lack of that
Well,
would have the wide arc that Taiki was talking about.
But
Yes.
if you look at like we're sorry, I don't want to go too long
Yeah.
here, but if you look at the move that we're making now, and we're saying, okay, get open and pin it, and then we're going, okay, well we're already stuck, so what do? We go more external rotation,
Yep.
right? And this idea of going back and back and back, and it just doesn't
More
make
moment,
any
yeah.
sense.
Listen, if I were going to hit a ball doing that, I would not want anybody standing right there.
No,
Yeah, yeah,
it's this idea of like. So I'm going to throw one thing out there just
Yeah.
for that downswing motion. We talk about like people talk about like power generation. They're like, okay, well, don't you want the biggest muscles involved, right? The quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, like that. That's where all your force comes from. And I'm going to make I want to say that it doesn't. That's not where your speed and forces come from. But what that does is these muscles create a really strong base for you to be able to actually
fire the arms.
Swing
the
the
arms
arms
and
out.
move, right? So
Yeah.
the reason why we would want to do like our squats, our
Yeah.
deadlifts, and things like that, why they are beneficial in golf, is not because the forces from the ground. I hate the whole,
yeah.
but what it is it's that stopping and controlling and having big strong glutes and quads allows you to put the brakes on, allows you to stop that so that everything else can move around it,
Yes.
right?
So the proximal stability creates the distal mobility.
Sure, yes.
And when you look at a whip, the handle is the thickest, heaviest part of the whip.
Sure.
Yeah.
The tip is the softest, so you wouldn't move the handle fast or far.
No.
But the tip's going to move a lot, so that would be the arms passing the body.
Passing
Yes.
the body and
From a
actually
stable body.
and actually loading this shaft and actually doing it, right?
Yep.
Because I just never understand this pin back here. At what point do I load this shaft?
Yeah.
Right? At
haven't.
what point
haven't.
I don't. And if I'm going this way, I'm not. Literally, I have nothing. I have no forces actually going into that
First,
shaft
if you take
to
it to the
generate.
top,
Yeah.
and you put pressure by moving the adduction against the shaft shaft is bending.
Is
Yes.
bending, is giving.
I'm feeling the
not-
pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm not holding lag here,
No,
right?
no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no.
holding lag, and so I just want you guys to see that. Like that's not the feeling. The feeling is that I'm actually kind of almost pushing it the opposite
Yeah.
way.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
actually
that
almost
way.
going this way.
Yeah.
And that feeling of actually the adding forces with the shaft, like you
Yeah.
just if you're doing this.
There's nothing
yeah,
in the
there's
shaft.
nothing. You got to use the shaft, use the club to your advantage,
Yeah.
right?
It's got to
Actually
act a
load.
little like
the lever
a
that you're
whip.
creating, that mass that's going in the backswing, you're trying to get rid of it on the downswing.
Yes.
Sure.
You're not trying to go in agreement with it.
No.
Right, exactly. That wouldn't make sense.
No.
It's negative.
Force counterforce.
Yes.
Is what creates stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Good work.
Pleasure, my friend. Always.
Thank you, Titan.
Thank you very much.